Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sabado Session Podcast. This is our Sheffield series number 6. Brittany, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited. Not just excited of having you on the podcast. Excited that the year's ending and then we get into 2024. So it's almost like 2024 is such a big year for powerlifters. It's so huge. So how you prepare yourself mentally to this year coming?
Oh man. So yeah, 2024 is definitely going to be an interesting one across the boards for powerlifting. I've just been handling it honestly 1 week at a time, just focus on what I can control and not worry about the big picture things, just kind of focusing on the little things right now.
Yeah, I think what you said there, focusing on the little things as little and less important that might sound to some people, it's so hard to do so at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Because we need to look at the bigger pictures, thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this in 2024. This is my New Year's resolution, but you're missing the point. Before you focus on the bigger, grander things, just get it step by step, no small one. You
Yeah,
know.
just the little things. The big picture is a little overwhelming right now because I know 2024 is going to demand a lot from
Yeah,
powerlifters, especially in my weight class. So I've
yeah,
just been focusing on the little things. I'm in a deload week this week, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I have bicep curls programmed. Let's hit those damn bicep
Oh,
curls.
good, good. That's amazing. So again, I think even before I hit record, I was talking about the time you started powerlifting. It's me, myself, and you. We pretty much started at the same time in that
Yeah.
2016. So I'll dive back because I know this is a Sheffield episode. We'll talk a lot about Sheffield right later on the episode. But let me draw back to the sport itself. What get you to get into powerlifting? Because again, people got different story. Was it something you just stumbled around, or you just thought like, you know what, fuck it, this is a drunk man's sport. Let me just do it.
So honestly, I had never heard of powerlifting, and I've always been super athletic. I was just training to stay in shape, and somebody approached me at the gym and they were like, "Oh, you're really strong. Like you should compete." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Compete in what?" And like I kind of thought they were joking because like I knew I was strong, but I didn't think I was that strong. So just kind of did a little bit of research, did some digging, took a course on powerlifting, and the instructor was like, "Wait, why are you not lifting if you're hitting those numbers?" So I just signed up for my first meet, went in like totally clueless, no equipment, no anything, didn't know any of the rules, just showed up.
So how did you feel that when you go on that platform for the first time? Because we all have goals and expectations, especially when you go on that platform. No matter what platform it is, to you because it was the first one, it was the biggest platform for you.
Yeah.
How did you handle that pressure?
So I think just not knowing what was going on helped handle the pressure because I didn't know like where anybody was ranking, what any of the numbers meant. It was back when Wilks was a thing. I didn't know what a qualifying total was. I didn't know what Wilks meant. So there wasn't a whole lot of pressure other than like walk out and hit your lifts, which I did not do very well, but we showed up. We had a good time, and honestly, it was super addicting from that point on. It's like, okay, how do I get better? How do I improve those numbers? How do I not miss those lifts next time?
I think talking about your numbers, like if the record serves me well, unless Joe Wiley didn't fill it up the form properly on open powerlifting or open IPF, let's just say, you hit 75 kilo for your bench.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Did I
So
hit it or did I miss it twice? Because I missed my second and third bench at my first meet. I don't remember what the weight was, but my like quote unquote coach at the time was like, "Yeah, full send. We'll do this thing that you've never even kind of hit. It's fine."
I mean, the funny thing is, I was looking at it, like I was looking at the numbers here. They're like, okay, 75 kilo. That's not too bad for your first meet, compared to where your bench is now. Do you know what I mean? She would be like, oh, that's progress. When we're talking about progress, that is.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about your squat and deadlift because those ones are just like it's a different planet, two different planets from where you started.
Yeah.
Because there's some lifters like myself. If you look at my numbers when I started and the numbers where I am today, it's almost like you think like, okay, your baseline was not that bad, because my first meet, I think I total like I think around like 615 or 620. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And now I'm on a 820. So 20, what, 200 kilos within 7 years. You know what I mean? Although it was a slow, steady, but people have made that in what, 3, 4 years. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? I mean, I'm looking at your numbers here. I'm thinking like, damn, Brittany, 160.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You know? Now, I don't want to grill you on that. We're not talking about grilling in this podcast, right? Let's
Oh,
talk.
it's okay. I deserve to be grilled.
That's fine. That's fine. So yeah, after you almost like got that first meet on the way, is it something you thought to yourself like, do you know what? I love it. I'm gonna keep on doing this, or is something you thought, do you know what? Fuck this shit. I don't want to do this.
Honestly, I think it was the community that helped keep me there because I was really frazzled after missing 2 out of 3 of my benches. And I was just like so distraught in the back room. And this older lady approached me. She's like one of our referees here in Ontario. And she's like, it happens to everyone, and just like had a sit down talk with me. And I was like, that's really cool. Like, this total stranger reached out to me to like help comfort me and let me know that this is all part of the process, and it really stuck with me. So I've tried to like be that person to other people moving forward, and I was like, oh, this is a community I can get behind. So I think that's what really kept me around. But yeah, after being on the platform, it's kind of like, what's the next step? How do we progress? How do we get better? And like, how far can we take this?
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about the community there in terms of like powerlifting. Myself, with experience, I always said every time I see a powerlifter, when I go to a gym, I see a powerlifter. It's almost feel like I can talk to that person, I can relate to that person because we go all got
Yeah,
everybody go to the gym, they lift the weight. You know, I always say to people, you can buy muscles, but you can't buy strength. Do you know what I mean? That's
yeah,
just I might be wrong on that one, but that's how I see things. But I can relate to powerlifters. It's almost like yeah, you see one, you're thinking, oh yeah, it's part of my community, it's part of my sport. Do you know, again, I mean, the question to that, leading to that, is like, what other example or what other things you think powerlifting has brought to your life since you started until today?
that's like a wildly huge question, but we'll try to dive in.
I just threw the nest.
Yeah,
That's it.
you're like, here's this massive question. Good luck.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, like, I don't know where my life would be without powerlifting, and the relationships that I've made, like all of my best friends now are somehow related to powerlifting or have been in powerlifting in their life, and I just find that that is an unparalleled experience that people who are outside of the sport don't understand. So it's
Mhm.
easier to connect with other powerlifters, and just the amount of support that I've received from the community through and through all sorts of different situations. Like, they've shown up for me when, they didn't necessarily need to, and it's strangers, like people I've never met, but we all have that one thing in common, that they show up for each other.
Mhm. You know, the reason I threw that question, just I threw the nest out of the ocean just to pick your brain on this is, as elite athletes, sometimes people just see us on the platform breaking records, lifting numbers, winning championships, and performing, and seeing us in training and doing left and right and center. Sometimes people don't know the story behind this, behind that person, behind the drive that you have on the platform, or behind that smile you have every time you hit a lift, or behind that anger, because some people are angry athletes. You know what I mean? They get
Right.
on the platform, they just want to eat everything. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes people don't understand why is that drive. So me, what I intend to do is like to almost have that conversation with people, drag it there, share the experience with people, say, look, I'm just a human being like everybody else. I know I can squat more than most men on the planet, but at the end of the day, I'm just a woman. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I struggle like every other woman out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, the experience, as you said there, like it brings powerlifting has brought to me personally, like this is my personal opinion, he has brought me like almost like that drive and discipline. Again, as you said there, some of the things that we can't even talk to. I can't even sit there and write a list because there's so many of them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So um I know that was a little bit of me rambling there, but in terms, if you look at everything the sport has done for you, what are the three main things that you say, do you know what? This powerlifting has got me. I would not
Okay.
have this and that if it was not for powerlifting.
Yes. So I think the biggest one would be an improvement in my mental health and my relationship with myself.
Mhm,
Because that's something that I've really struggled with my entire life, and I still do, but powerlifting has made a really big impact in that.
mhm,
The second would be like the lifelong friendships that I've mentioned. Like without powerlifting, I would never have formed these super deep connections with people who seemingly are unrelated aside from having powerlifting together.
mhm.
And then third, just something to keep my, I mean, I guess this tangentially relates to number one, something to keep myself on track. Like when I'm going through like a really bad bout of depression or something, like I always have training and I always show up, even if it's just a terrible session. Like I will show up for myself because it's what I've instilled in myself and it's the discipline that I've created.
I mean, again, that discipline, like you can't buy. Any sportman will tell you, discipline is something you cannot buy. Discipline is something that comes in when you like something, you love something, you want to practice it, and you want to be the best at it. And then you create some sort of barriers, you create that discipline to you to lead you to the end goal. I always say, like, you from the get go, you might not have the discipline, but when you set goals and then discipline comes along,
Yeah,
with it. So
for sure
yeah,
it does.
I know, like, well, again, you started in 2016, you had your first one, you get on the platform, we spoke about what the sport has brought you in general, but just let's go back to just being on the platform. So I know you've done Canadian nationals, which was probably, let me talk me through about your first national, because that's the biggest platform that you've been for the first time.
So my first nationals was at the time the worst meet that I had ever had,
Oh no.
numbers wise, or not like numbers wise, but making attempts wise. I was with a coach that wasn't actually a powerlifting coach, didn't really know what was going on. I go out, hit my squat opener, and I'm like, I can't find my legs. Like it's not there. And then he still loads way too heavy, so I miss my next two squats. I missed my second bench, and then I ended up getting all three deadlifts, but just like trying to keep together
Yeah.
throughout missing all these lifts and having a coach that has no idea what's going on. And it was certainly nerve-wracking. Not like my most proud performance, but I'm proud of the like mental fortitude of pushing through all of it. But yeah, I won my first Canadian nationals somehow, even with that hell of a day.
So how did you come back from that? Because me, I was just gonna fire you.
Yeah, I was really frazzled after squats, hit my bench opener, missed my second. I was like, I should just scratch my third, like it's not even worth it. And I was like, no, that's not the attitude we can have. Like the least you can do is try. So I went out and I ended up hitting it on my third. So I was like pretty stoked with that, and that kind of set the tone right for deadlifts. But yeah, it was super chaotic day, and I knew kind of after that that like if I was going to be serious about this sport, it was time to find some kind of coaching that was better, but I still dragged my feet all the way through my first worlds before getting a real coach.
I mean, I'm just checking your record here, right? Your competition has always been like, you hit 600 plus, and then you go down to 500. Is it a tactical thing, or is it something? Okay, the 600 plus is the meet that you actually prepared for and pick for well, or the 500 is just like, oh, I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna go and do 3 weeks training and go and do this.
No,
I'm
so
sorry to ask you. I'm sorry to ask you that I had to, Brittany. When I was looking at your record, I'm thinking like, oh, why did she eat 608 here and the next one is 587? What's
yeah,
going
no, it's totally a fair question. So I've struggled a lot with finding comfort with my body. So I've gone through like weight cuts and like gaining weight and cutting weight and gaining weight and cutting weight. So that kind of impacted my total pretty substantially. But the last like year and a half, I've kind of realized like if I'm gonna compete in 84 plus, like I need to sit at a body weight that's pretty comfortable. Cause like my first meet, I was like 90 kilos because my coach was like, we're gonna cut to 84, but like my body is not meant to be 84 kilos or less. So I got as close as I could, got super fucking sick, and then did a meet, and then gained a little bit of weight, gained a little weight, and then competed, hit a high total, and then went through like a regression as I cut weight.
You know, so now I get why the 75 kilo bench come from then because you
Mm,
were trying to drop that to 84, you couldn't do
yeah,
it. And then, okay, I mean,
yeah.
I say I forgive you for that. That's fine.
No, to be totally fair, even if I hadn't tried to cut weight, I don't think I had 75 kilos. I benched with my hands like almost touching in the middle of the bar.
Oh, great. So yeah, so after that Canadian nationals, and of course, your progress just blew it, in terms of like where you went on, and I think I'm gonna jump a few steps forward. I mean, the World Championship in 2021, right? Not many people talk about Sweden 2021. You won the World Championship.
Yeah.
So how do you go on about thinking, okay, I've won a world championship, but people don't really care about me winning the world championship. So do I have to go back and train again and do this again? So how do you deal with that? Because again, some people drive, their drive is from success, the drive is from praise, the drive is from throwing flowers at them. So
Right.
how do you deal with that?
So winning Worlds in 2021 didn't feel like I had actually accomplished anything because it was like the year of COVID and the year of the USAPL split and turning to Powerlifting America. So we were made to feel like not all of the competitors were there and we didn't deserve our titles and medals that we had won at Worlds. So I'm like still trying to come to terms with it, but it didn't feel like I had won a world championship. So it didn't really feel like anything. I didn't like have any pride in it. I wasn't super excited about it. Like I showed up and had a damn good day and fought a good fight that day, but it didn't feel satisfying, if that makes sense.
Would it have feel satisfying if you've total, let's just say, let me just throw a number there, right? I'm not looking at the data. If you've
Yeah.
total like 660 or 670, would that feel something amazing for you? Because
I
you think,
mean,
okay, I won a world championship, but yeah, it's only 6 or 7, and then the world record is already about like 660 something. So is this what went in your mind, or because you didn't have no competition?
no, like I mean, I had competition there. Like we fought for that 607 and we tied and I won on body weight. So it's not like there wasn't competition. It just the main lifter wasn't there, so it didn't feel fair or proper and
So the
there were
main,
definitely
so
shots taken.
just for the listeners, so the main lifter you're talking about, the great herself, Bonica Brown, is that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saying that. So now I'll divert my question: is she someone that you were looking up to when you started this sport, thinking I'm an 84 plus, that is the benchmark?
I mean, she has a laundry list of accomplishments and is undeniably like one of the greatest lifters, especially as an 84 plus lifter.
Yeah.
But I honestly like I find my inspiration from people that I'm closer with, and she like we've never had like a big relationship, so it's not like I was like, oh, this is the benchmark, but I knew like she's the one you have to chase, right? Like if you're gonna be the greatest, you're gonna have to chase her, right?
So is it so they're basically like moving um from 2021, is that one of the drive that set your mind thinking, you know what, I won, but I didn't really feel like I won, but there's always 2022 where she's coming and I'm gonna
Yeah.
press it. So what was the mindset leading to the 2022 World Championship in South Africa from your side?
So 2022, I had tried cutting weight again, so my numbers were down. I didn't expect to win by any means. I didn't have the greatest performance. Life happened. Finished off the podium, which I honestly like. I was upset with how the day went, but I wasn't upset with my results. Like I gave it everything I had on that day, and that's all you can really ever ask for.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like when you look at it, like you had one deadlift. So if you had two deadlifts, then me and you will be sitting here talking about a different story.
Yep. Yeah,
So how
I had
how
never
gone?
I had never failed a deadlift on grip, and my grip just gave out on the last two deadlifts. And there's nothing you can do when your grip goes. Like you can't fight through it. Like it just was not there.
So now you open a kind of worm there. I'm gonna attack you for questions now, right?
Do
So
it.
it's not there, but I'm gonna throw it out there. So 2022, who was your coach?
2022, my coach was Kimberly Walford.
Oh, so it wasn't Bryce because if it was Bryce, I would have literally attacked you over it because I'm a sumo today. I'm a sumo puller and I'm a hook gripper is because of that man. You
Yeah.
know, I
No.
thought I will never gonna be able to hook grip, and I will never gonna be able to pull sumo. I'm still learning. I'm still learning pulling sumo. I'm not the best. I still got that conventional stance in sumo, so I'm still gonna make it better. But today, I'm a hook gripper, and
Yeah.
my grip does not fail me because of Bryce. Bryce said literally, I was listening to Bryce like after 2018. He was talking about as a hook gripper, everything has to be hook. You know, start
Yeah.
even when you're brushing your teeth, hook grip the brush. Do you know what I mean? So when you say grip failing there, I was about to literally attack Bryce. I was like, how can you be trained by Bryce and no and fail on grip? Come on, Brittany.
No,
So
I started with Bryce right after 2022 Worlds.
so now you see, looking here, the grip is not failing you anymore. Moving to the
Hopefully.
right person. Moving to the right person. So yeah, of course, 2022 happened. You came fourth, and Bonica won, and she qualified for Sheffield again. Sheffield was something that's supposed to happen before COVID, and it was cancelled. And then another Sheffield came in 2023 this year. Bonica qualified in South Africa. So, how did you perceive Sheffield yourself in terms of like just a competition? Let's not talk about experience, just the competition, because there's a lot of people who are thinking, oh, Sheffield's gonna flop anyway, you know, and people were saying like, oh, this is not gonna be a good meet, and people were saying, why are they selling a powerlifting meet like it's a world championship or world championship or marathon or something? So you guys in Canada, how did you guys receive that message of Sheffield?
We were excited about the prospect of a big meet, like anything that can help move powerlifting along. And like obviously, like a lot of us are good friends with Pete. Like we don't want Pete to fail, so we wanted it to be successful. But yeah, there was a huge outcry. Like we had one Canadian athlete there last year or this year, Jess Bittner, and we were all behind her and wanted her to succeed and wanted the event to succeed. We wanted it to be a big thing because we want powerlifting to move forward. So obviously we were all for it, but I'm sure there were doubters and people who had their questions about whether or not it would be helpful.
I think from a personal point of view, like this is yourself. When you watch that, these of course Monica didn't have no one in Sheffield, it was just her, right? So when you watch that live stream, watching them going up against every single world record, how did you feel? How did you set your mind in terms of like the sport, thinking, okay, what do I have to do to get on that platform?
So I actually went to Sheffield last year or this year. So I was there in the crowd. And
Brilliant. I should have started that if you went. That should have been the
yeah,
first question. But anyway, let's go.
yeah. So I went with Ryan and Rhea from SBD Canada. They're really close friends of mine. So like I was like, hey, if I come for like a watch party, and they're like, oh no, we're going to Sheffield. Like you should come. And I was like, whatever, let's go. So I went with them. It was it was wild. Like it was so crazy. I don't think I've ever screamed that loud for absolutely every athlete. Like people I've never met before, people that I have met before, like just like screaming to the point you're like blacking out in the crowd. But yeah, it was incredible.
I think there's one thing we talk about Sheffield. People think when we just talk about it, because people think because we are SPD athletes or we love Pete Spence. We love you, Pete. You heard that. Or we
Yeah,
love Pete Spence. We want him to succeed. But it's not that. Is the experiences of Sheffield. You just have to be there. I cannot describe it to anybody
I
unless you
know.
are. Do you know what I mean? Because no matter what word I will use to describe it, it would not be enough. You know,
No. There's literally nothing that you can say that can like I think Evie got the closest by like talking about how it's like a rock concert, but for powerlifting, which you don't mesh those two things together normally. But it's so true. Like it was something totally unparalleled. And like my Apple Watch kept telling me, it's like, your environment's too loud, your environment's too loud, your environment's too loud, because everyone's just screaming constantly.
So, was that a drive for you now, leading to the
Uh
World Championship? And I mean, of course, because you had a Canadian national, you have to go through the nationals before you get. Because again, you kind of Canadians, the way your selection is done is just yeah, it just gave me a headache. So let's not talk about that.
yeah, welcome,
So,
welcome to Canada, my friend.
so yeah, you had a World Championship. Was Sheffield one of the drive for you thinking, you know what, I need to go and crush these bitches a world, and I need to be on our platform next year?
No. So I never even envisioned myself on the Sheffield platform. I wouldn't let it enter my head. I just kind of blocked it out entirely. And there's always like the thought in the back of your head, like, well, maybe I could get a wild card spot someday. But no, going into Worlds this year, I Sheffield wasn't even on the horizon.
But I'm sure probably Bryce was thinking about it. So
Oh,
he
I'm
just
sure. I mean that's his job. His job is to worry about things. My job is not.
so in terms of like again, how did you find the city of Sheffield? Because remember, for the listeners that are listening, Sheffield is a city in the UK. It's not London, because I've been getting this question saying, "Oh, is Sheffield actually in London?" No, it's not in London. It's a Sheffield.
No.
It's a city. So how did you find Sheffield?
Sheffield was nice. I wasn't there long, honestly. I went and spent a couple of days in London and then took the train into Sheffield the morning of the competition. And then I was in Sheffield for like one full day after. It was nice. I had a great time with some of the other SBD retailers that I was kind of linked up with. We had a great time. It was super nice, but I'm looking forward to like actually getting to see a little bit more of Sheffield this year.
Oh, don't worry. This year, I mean, next year in Feb, you'll be a
Next year,
VIP.
yeah.
You'll be a VIP guest, so it'll be a total different
Yeah,
experience.
for sure.
You'll be picked up by a Range Rover at the airport. That's what I heard. You know, I'm not confirming that. That's what I just saw. All I saw a Range Rover for athletes. I was like, what? A Range Rover picking up athletes? Are you kidding me? You know, although our own Mohammed Abdul, instead
Yeah.
of him calling for the Range Rover to pick him up, my man decided to walk.
Oh
So
God. Just go for a walk. It's fine.
hopefully, Brittany, you're not going to do that. You wait for the Range Rover to pick you up.
Wait for the Range Rover. Now you're on the hook for the Range Rover.
Exactly. So, Pete, you heard that Range Rover needs to go and pick up Brittany. So, yeah. So again, like Sheffield's there, you've been there, you've experienced it, you've seen the ladies going up on that platform, literally doing a madness, and we all screamed, and I lost my voice, and 4 or 5 days later, my voice came back, which is fine. It was worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how did you prepare the World Championship? Because again, I know you said Sheffield is not, it was not in your mind leading to Malta. You were just doing what you had to do, and Bryce probably is the one that was thinking about the numbers. But yourself as well, when you went to this training, because you won in 2021, right?
Yeah.
You explained why you didn't really feel like a champion. And then in 2022, you had the day you had. So now there's another chance for you to get on that platform. And this time, it's not just Bonica.
No.
And this time, there is the other ladies at 84 plus that can literally upset everybody. Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? And again, the lady in question I mentioned, if I can mention one, apart from the Swedish heavyweights, is we're talking about Sonita was coming
Yep.
in, especially her training was mad. And she was so transparent about her training, you know, in terms
Yep.
of posting her training, unlike other people that don't really post. How did you digest all of that leading to that prep?
Uh, Again, just focusing on the smaller things, not worrying about the big picture. Like I had an incredible coaching staff that day, and I have an incredible team of coaches behind me. Like, not just Bryce, but I have Garrett Bentley. That day I had Ryan Stin with me. Like, they do all of the worrying, so I don't have to. They do all of the analyzing. They follow my competition. They look up things. They see where I am sitting, and I don't have to do that, so I don't let myself do that. But obviously, like I see Sonita posting like these epically huge lifts, even now leading into Sheffield, like she's posting these gorgeous lifts, but like that's not who I am as a lifter. I don't hit those kinds of numbers in training. And it is a hard pill to swallow sometimes. It's like, damn, I wish I could be doing something like that, but that's not my plan and that's not how I work. So just trying to trust my coaches and trust that they know what's best for me.
So, I mean, we spoke about mental health in the beginning, and we spoke about how powerlifting has helped you, and how powerlifting is helping all of us in general in terms of like the community we created. So, when you see big lifts like that, right? Let me just talk one lift. I saw Sonita squatting 290, right? I'm in 83 and I'm in 290, 300 squatter. I know
Yeah.
how 290 feels,
Yeah.
right? So when I saw 290, Sonita unracking that and squatting it, going down and up to comp standard, I just was like, fuck me, Jesus Christ. Do people actually understand what this lady has just done? Do you know what I
I
mean?
know.
So mentally, you has been a direct competitor to Sonita. When you saw that, tell me, literally just tell me, what was your reaction?
I mean, okay, so I love Sunita like deeply. I was so stoked for her. It was a beautiful lift, and I'm so proud of her for that. And I can't wait to see Sheffield for her. But again, there's like the voice in the back of your head that's like, hey, what are you doing like that? And that week, like I was actually in Calgary training with Bryce, and I had like high bar tens at 150. And I was like, okay, this is a little bit of a different world. So, like, obviously, I'm super stoked for her, and it was a beautiful lift, like, absolutely beautiful to comp standard with room in the tank. So super stoked for her, but yeah, it leaves you wondering, like, is this process gonna work for me, or like, should I be doing things like that instead of high bar tens?
But still, what you said, the little thing, you're still trusting the process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the back of your mind, when you go to your house, you close the door, you're thinking, shit, I haven't even started hitting 270 yet.
Well, I don't know. Like it's so weird. Before Worlds, so I squatted 281 at Worlds. Before Worlds, the heaviest weight I'd ever squatted was 260.
That's
So
that's mad.
like it just I like I'm just not that lifter that hits those numbers in training. I'm just not.
But the thing is that if you hit 270 now, I mean 300 plus in comp, that's the type of lifter you are. Do you know what I mean? And that would be incredible. And to be honest, I'm expecting that one of you ladies will be loading 300 anyway.
Oh, I know Sonita will for sure. I don't know where my numbers are and I don't like thinking about it. Because even when I saw 280 on my comp card when Bryce sent it to me before Worlds, I like opened the spreadsheet up and saw 280 and just closed it. I was like, no, we're not gonna think about that right now. That's too big of a number to sit with.
It's true. So yeah, what about award itself as well? Of course, your prepper you mentioned there, you don't really look at other people what they're doing. You just do what you need to be done. So in Malta, were you aware about what was happening around you, or you was something just like I'm gonna focus on what I need to do, and I don't need to know what's going on?
I don't like knowing what's going on. I had no idea where I was in the rankings, which excuse me, I've talked about before. Like looking back, it feels kind of stupid. Like I should have known where I was based on what I was hitting and like walking out and it's like, oh, this is a world record total pull, but like you don't think about it, you just do it. And like I had no idea I had won worlds like for probably 10 minutes after it happened. Nobody told me. I was totally clueless.
Girl, are you crazy?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was in the back room, we're watching the TV, and I'm like screaming for Sonita to hit her last deadlift. And my coach is kind of looking, not Bryce, but Garrett. Garrett was kind of looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I'm like, let's go, Sonita. And then Natalie came out for another world record attempt. And so we're screaming for her and like super excited. And then, like, a couple minutes later, Bryce was like, good job, champ. And I was like, thanks. Like, it was a really good day. Like, no idea where I had finished. And he's like, no, like, you won. And I was like, pardon?
So basically, when he said good day, champ, you probably thought that. he's only calling me champ because I won the Canadian national and I won 2021 World, right?
Right, just whatever. It's champ, yeah.
That's incredible. So basically, you cheering for Sonita and for that last pool, your team knew if Sonita make this, that was gonna put you.
Of
Yeah.
course they knew.
But you're there like, come on, Sonita, you got
Yeah,
this.
I'm like, let's
You know,
go.
Oh man, I would have been. I should have been there to film that and Sonita get in the lift, and then later on be like, oh, Brittany, actually that lift was for you to go second, and you
Yeah.
did.
I mean, honestly, with the day I had in Malta, I would have been happy no matter what. My goal is to finish on the podium this year, so I would have been happy even if she had gotten the pole. And again, like I want nothing but success for her. So
Yeah.
it's like it's such a double-edged sword. It's like, oh, she's your main competitor, but she's also like a really close friend. So
I mean, again, this is what I always say to people as a powerlifter: when you go and meet, you go 9 for 9. There's nothing else you can do. If
yeah,
someone comes and beat a 9 for 9 performance, so be it. But the problem in powerlifting, in the sport we do, a 9 for 9 performance is so fucking hard to beat.
yeah.
This is probably like, I'm not gonna take the take credit away from you. Is that's why you won, Brittany,
Yeah.
because you went 9 for 9, and
No,
that performance
exactly. It
nine
came
for nine.
down to who was gonna miss lifts, and that's
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
day was.
And then you did the job. So talk to me through about the world record squat. We're not going to talk about individual lift, but just the world record. The reason I want to touch the world record is you three ladies are doing things that no one ever thought ever going to be done. No
Yeah,
one ever in this world thought there will be ladies that will be squatting 280 plus kilos at world. Not just one, three.
yeah.
Talk to me through about that. How when the first person that loaded the world record, I think it was you, isn't it?
No, Bonica took it on her second, and then I took it on the third, and then Sonita took it, and then Bonica took it.
So how God. Okay. How was your mindset when Bonita hit you on the second
Yeah.
and you hit your second score and that world record was loaded on your third?
So I don't like knowing what number I'm walking out to take. So I asked my coaches, I was like, how much heavier is this than my last lift? And they were like 11 kilos. And I was like, okay, well, that's not suspicious. Obviously, it's a record because you
Yeah.
can't just jump 11 kilos. So I knew that going in, and I walked out to the platform, and honestly, like, you can see in the video, I'm like actually talking to myself, and I'm like, you know what? This is going to be heavy, but like it's supposed to be heavy. And if I fail it, I'm surrounded by people that are going to keep me safe. So the least you can do is try to move it. And just kind of walked it out. And I was like, holy shit, this is a lot of weight. But just kind of trusted my body to do its thing and did it.
So how did you feel? Sorry if I'm literally hanging up on this one and like because it's 281 kilos, right?
Yeah.
You got that down thing, you took the step back, you go like, I'm gonna go down and come back up.
Yeah. I know. I was like, all right. I mean, I know I can go down, but the backup part, we're not sure. But I don't know. When you have that much weight on your back, you have no choice but to just be confident. Even if you're not confident, fake confidence and just trust yourself. Don't overanalyze it, because if you start getting in your head and thinking about it, just do what you always do. The same way you squat 70 kilos, you just do it.
Is it that's the one that almost like emphasize your point where you say, I'm not the type of lifter that lift heavy in training. I just do that on the platform. Is it
Yeah.
sometimes as lifters we need these kind of things to almost like prove our theory right because you've proven it. You scored 260, the heaviest in training, and you're going
Yeah.
to score 281 kilo. A 2 hour weigh in South Africa. You Canadians get into South Africa, Jesus Christ, God knows how long. Do you know what I mean? And for you to go and do that, I'm sorry, in Malta, for
In
you to go,
Malta, yeah.
that's incredible. Do you know what I mean? I mean, me in Malta is like what, 3 hours? You guys were talking about what? Is it 6 hours, 7 hours flight?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So
I
that's a
think
long
six.
time for you to go and do that on the other continent. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's almost emphasize your point where you say, I don't need to do much, I can do that. So it means going back to say Yes, Sonita scored in 290. I don't need 290. I only need 270 for me to score 310.
I mean, the math isn't that magical, unfortunately, but yeah, I don't know. It's the way I function, and Bryce knows. It took us a long time to learn how each other works because, like, the first meet that we did together, he gave me my attempt card, and I was kind of like, yo, like, what are these numbers? I have more than that. So it took us a few meets to figure it out, and now he seems to have figured out my magic.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So yeah, of course, you won world, even though it took you 10 minutes, and Bryce had to come and tell you you didn't realize the champion. I mean, this is amazing, amazing story to be honest. Because other people they will be there waiting on that scoreboard, watching who's the
Yeah.
last person, where I am. As soon as they world champion, you see them jumping, but you took you 10 minutes. Probably when you were putting your tracksuit on to get on the platform, that's when they told you, hey, by the way, you won. Oh shit, I'm going to collect a winning medal.
Yeah, we're all just kind of standing there, like cheering for everyone else to finish lifting. And then, like, the big boys are ready to go out, and we're all just kind of crammed in this little room together. But
Crazy. So, yeah, you won world, qualified for Sheffield. So now Sheffield is coming, right?
it is.
And I know there's a few things that happen in Malta. You've spoken about it in, I think Ryan did touches. I mean, I'm talking about the Bonica incident. Everywhere around the world have been talking about it, right? And to me, my question to you is, what will you what when you saw that? Probably you didn't see that because you're the champion. You get on the platform to get a medal. You don't care what's happening at the back, right? What was your reaction when you were told about it or when you saw it?
It didn't bother me. It was more just an unfortunate thing because the way I saw it is somebody had like tagged us all in a picture, standing on the podium or like waiting for a medal ceremony. And the first thing I saw was how much fun we were all having together. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I love that for our weight class. And then I was like, wait, why what was the point of this? And then I kind of realized. So it was just unfortunate. It's sad. But yeah, it didn't bother me. It didn't take away anything. I didn't notice while I was out there. So
Have you guys spoken to Monica since? I know you're not.
no, I've never had that relationship with her. Like we never talked outside of competitions, and like we've always been super cordial and like had conversations when we're out there together, like at medal ceremonies, but or before a competition, but no.
But you and Sonita spoke about it. I'm sure you did.
Yeah. No, a little bit. Not really though. We're both kind of like um I don't know, like we've never been in a situation like that, so it's hard to say how we would respond, but I don't think it bothered us really.
I'll ask her the same question when she comes next time. Let's see what she got have to say. So, yeah, of course, you won. Sheffield is coming, as I said. So, you were the first one to get your face qualified to Sheffield because you were the champ, right? You
Yeah.
went there. After you get your invite or you saw SBD posting like, oh, Britain has qualified for Sheffield, was he in the back of your mind thinking, oh, can you bring more 84 plus ladies? I don't just want to be a sole lifter there on that platform like what Bonita did last year. I want to have the girls with me. Is that something you were thinking in the back of your
So I actually was told right away that Sonita had qualified too. So I knew that she would be there, so that was comforting, and I was excited for her. And I mean, it's so well deserved, obviously. Like she broke the world record total too. So I knew right after they had asked me if I was interested in going to Sheffield, they were like, yeah, Sonita's qualified too. So I knew right away, so it was super exciting for both of us.
They ask you if you were interested to go to Sheffield or they just told you you're going to Sheffield.
No, they were like, how would you feel about going to Sheffield? And I cried because what else do you do?
I think Pete Spence or the team should change that sentence. How do you feel? No. The one you should be telling to the champions, like guys, you're going to Sheffield.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, again, of course, in news like that, if you're interested to go into Sheffield, as you said, you would never thought about in a million years that you will qualify in that way. You probably thought you're gonna get a wild card. So
yeah.
did it take to you to actually process the fact that shit, I'm going to Sheffield?
It was like a couple of weeks after Worlds. Like I was actually really, really, really sick at Worlds, and I was sick after I got home from Worlds and not training after I got home from Worlds. And then it kind of started clicking like onto the next thing, and the next thing was prepping for Sheffield, which is the longest meet prep that I've ever done. So I was like, how am I gonna keep this interesting? How am I gonna keep this exciting? How am I gonna stay focused for that long? So kind of came up with a game plan for that, and then it kind of started sinking in. I was like, well, this is terrifying.
So now let me ask this: when you went home, you had to tell your close friends and family that you're going to Sheffield, because sometimes like the powerlifting we do, right? I mean, this is my personal, just me, my experience. As much as I'm on a platform, the family I met in powerlifting, they're the ones I enjoy powerlifting with. My
Yeah,
own flesh, my family, apart from my partner, and of course that I follow powerlifting. But when it comes to my sisters and my brothers and my dad, you tell them I'm a powerlifter, I'm actually good at it. They were like, so. You know what I mean? But when they see you on the Olympic channel, all my dad say like, oh, see, that's my name on TV. I was like, no, not even that's my son, but that's my name on
that's
TV.
your name.
I bear his name. So yeah, how did they react when you went with that news? Because it's a massive news. You going to Sheffield, so and then you're world champion. How did your
Yeah.
family perceive it?
They don't really. My dad has never seen me lift ever. Like on TV or YouTube or in person. My sister will watch if it's not like in the middle of the night with time change. So like she watched when I was in Malta. So she was excited, but yeah, my family doesn't know what powerlifting is, honestly.
Next time, get a tablet, get a video, go in front of your dad. Say, Dad, watch me. That's me.
Yeah.
So you don't tell me that you haven't watched me. That's me. That's what I do, right?
Yeah.
That's how strong I am. So I mean, yeah, again, like those milestones are massive as a lifters, you know. And Sheffield is one of those places that you reach it, whether you win or not, it's just something that stays with you forever,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I've had a lot of lifters here talking about the Sheffield itself. They were talking about the experience being as an spectator, his experience of being on the platform, and they even some of them for some advice to younger lifters that lifting, saying Sheffield should be your end goal, should be a North Star. I think Delaney was talking about people making Sheffield a North Star. So, what's your take on that in terms of like Sheffield being the end goal?
I think it's difficult because not like there's a lot that factors into being a good lifter and making it far. Like genetics plays a huge part in it. And for some people, like their North Star should be nationals because that's the furthest they're ever going to make it. So telling everybody that Sheffield should be the ultimate goal is kind of setting an unattainable goal for some people, which I don't love because then you kind of never really reach a point that you should be proud of or could be proud of. So, but like if it's realistic and within the route, like even somewhat realistic, yeah, I think it's a damn good goal to strive for. And I'm like I said, I'm terrified of actually being on the platform there, but experiencing Sheffield, even as a spectator, like if you get the chance or you can create the chance, like go. If you're a powerlifting fan at all, go.
Where are you gonna see two ladies loading 300 plus squat? Where?
Yeah.
Or 300?
Well, Worlds next year. Yeah.
No, but it starts in Sheffield, right? 300 pound end up in a world. So do you know what I mean? That's how much faith I have in you too. So yeah, 700 pound a world. Um, so so I got a few questions here that linked now to a record because Sheffield is a money meet is for you to collect checks, right?
Yeah.
And, for you to be able to buy that good bottle of whiskey for Bryce. By the way, you were in Sheffield. They have got some great whiskey places. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys, if you like Scotch, that's where you get it. You know what I mean? Not in Scotland, it's not Scotland, but they got some shops that sell great ones. Great place to get bottles for Bryce. So let me ask: what specific record would you be going for? I know you're not a number person, but I'm
Yeah.
sure the back of your head, right? When this podcast ends, you'll be thinking, huh, I'm gonna go for that number, and that number.
Uh, total, honestly. The records are pretty high for 84 plus. I don't know that they're not attainable for me, but ultimately total is what's most important.
This is the lady that just squatted 281 kilo, a world record. And the world record stands at 285, and she's saying to me the record is really high. Interesting.
It is really high. That's a damn big number.
Really high, which is 4.5 kilos. Let me take a little bit of your take on that. What make you say 4.5 kilo is damn high from two?
Because, well, one, it's not just me going after the record. So even if I break the record, it doesn't matter if it gets broken again. Not that I'm not confident that I can't hit 4.5 kilos higher, but I don't like being cocky. You never know what's going to happen on the day. And squatting at Sheffield is going to be absolutely terrifying because it's so loud. So trying to like remove expectations from myself and just focus on like, if I can break my total, like that will be enough. Like I would love to hit a 700 kilo total at Sheffield, which is like only a handful of kilos away, but again, like you just never know what's going to be there on the day.
You know what? I really want to take you serious, Whitney, but I think we're moving to that zone where I'm not going to take you serious anymore, right?
Okay.
So you want to break 700 kilos when you've just totaled 693.5, which is
Correct.
kilos. And and this is the longest prep you ever had, and I'm sure you're not injured. You're fit, you're bubbly, you're going for it, and you're telling me you can't add 7.5 kilos, 6.5 kilos is a lot.
No,
Come
I'm
on.
telling you, I hope I can.
You will.
Yeah.
That
Um, I
wasn't my
mean, like I've said, like my coaches have a plan. I don't know what that plan is yet. I don't like knowing what that plan is yet, but yeah, I'm expecting some pretty good things. Like I've had a really good prep, knock on wood. Everything's going really well. So I don't like thinking about numbers because they're big and they tie some kind of expectation that I don't like having going into a competition. Which is
so
funny, like doing podcasts, I know that's like not what people want to hear. It's like, oh, I want to hear like, yeah, I'm loading 300 kilos, but like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I think the mistake I made, I should have brought Bryce along. Probably
Hmm.
the numbers, right?
You should have brought just Bryce, honestly.
So I mean, again, right, 84 squat is 285.5. You've scored a 281. I think, including myself and everybody that will be listening, they know you're gonna go for that, right? Whether you don't know, but that's a fact. You go for that number.
Yeah,
Again,
like I would love to break the squat record, but again, that's not to say that it won't be broken again. Who knows what's going to happen? And again, ultimately, I think Sheffield between Sonita and I is going to come down to who makes lifts, and it's going to be a super hell of a show, no matter what happens.
would you guys be thinking? I know Sonita probably thinking about this as well, squat and maybe pushing the deadlift world record and of course total. So you guys are not talking about bench. Why not?
So I talked hard about bench and spent a lot of time trying to figure out my bench and try because I'm like I would have to bench 10 kilos more than I did at Worlds to break the record. Which was feeling super attainable for a while, but then I had like a really bad elbow flare up and now I've kind of in a bench shithole right now. So trying to find my bench again, but 10 kilos is a lot to add on a bench.
Yeah, precisely 9.5, right? So, like I
Yeah,
said,
10 kilos to break the record. It's 9.5 further than I've lifted. So,
I mean, with your progress, where your bench has been, and to be fair, I'm no saying no to that because yeah, you made pretty good progress on that bench press, you
yeah.
know. So I expect you to bench big. Whether the world record will fall, let's wait and see. So buy your ticket, come and witness Brittany breaking the world record bench press. So let's not talk about it on the podcast. Just buy your ticket.
Just buy the ticket. It's fine. Just buy it.
World record. And so yeah, the next one is what numbers do you think? Again, there is Sonita here going up against you. What number do you think Sonita will be hitting at Sheffield?
I'm fully confident she'll be loading at least 3 on the squat.
You mean 300 kilos, right?
Well, yeah, 300 kilos on the squat, that number. Um, I don't really know. I don't follow her training enough, honestly, to know what she'll hit for the others. And I don't know that she's posted that much. All I know is she's about to have a huge total, so that's awesome.
So, do you think she will be going for the world record tour as well? To break
Absolutely.
that same.
Absolutely.
Interesting, interesting. So Sheffield is no. The next question will be like, all right, this one, right? Do you think when I saw this one, when I was thinking about this question, I was like, should I ask Brittany about this or not ask Brittany about? Because it's Sabado, I'll ask everything, right?
Yeah.
Do you your competitor Sonita will be moving down weight class for
No.
Sheffield?
No.
If he did it, how do you know? You never know.
I do know. I mean, in recent training videos, like she's not an 84. I don't think that she peaked her strength until she grew into 84 plus. So that's a big cut to make from like recent training videos to February. I don't think there's any way.
I think miracle happens, but in this circumstance, no. Even myself,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't a stupid question, but I had to ask that question because I've been asking that question to everybody, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I mean, she was an 84-kilo competitor for years, so it's not totally crazy, but no, I think she's grown into 84 plus, and I think she's really finding her place here. So, and God, I hope she stays with me. I like having her in my weight class.
Nice one, nice. It's like it's the relationship I have with Anna from Hungary. Sometimes, like when you're on the platform, you want to eat each other, right? As soon as you step out, your lift is done. You step out, you just have to support the other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because the mentality of making sure you don't support your competitors, making sure your competitors don't do well, I don't buy into that, right? I
no,
know Nick Mendes is like that. He's Canadian. I'm surprised
yeah.
you're a different Canadian now because I thought all Canadians are the same.
Nick Manders is one of a kind.
Because I was listening to him today. He was talking about his Christmas wish is all the 83 to do bad next year for him to have a better year. So you're different. You're not thinking about that. You're wishing everybody the best. So I
Yeah,
guess not all Canadians are the same. So
no. Like honestly, I would rather all of us show up at Worlds, have picture perfect 9 for 9 days, and just see who comes out on top.
that's what you call sportsmanship right there. Nothing beat that. Nothing beat that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know we spoke about the numbers potentially you'll be hitting on Sheffield again because you said you don't know your numbers. Bryce knows your numbers, so I'm just gonna have to DM Bryce here.
Yeah,
So
just DM Bryce, it's fine.
so what message do you have for all the ladies that are going to Sheffield? Because Sheffield is not just you and Sonita me. Sheffield is you are competing against Evie, Naomi, Leah, everybody else.
Yeah.
So what message do you have? Don't be kind on me, Brittany, please. Don't.
No, like truly, I'm just not the kind of person that stirs the shit pot. And like I said, I would rather us all walk out, have picture perfect 9 for 9 days, and just like smash records. I don't care who wins. Like honestly, just being there is such an incredible experience, and I hope we all do well.
You heard it, guys. Everybody that will be listening to us, please buy your Sheffield ticket. It's the only place you see two ladies loading 300 plus kilo squat. Even though Brittany said she doesn't know her numbers, but I know that's what Bryce is thinking about. And £5,000 check. So on that note, guys, follow us, like us. If you have any question for me, drop it on my DM or on the comment. And if you need to reach out to Brittany, she's easy. She will reply, right? Drop your questions, drop your thoughts or whatever. If Brittany does not reply, please come to me saying, I've been messaging Brittany, she's not replying. What the fuck is going on? It's going like, Britt, what's going on? You know?
Why you not reply?
Why you not replying? She's not like any other lifters that are there. There's world champions out there that don't care about the people that follow them, right? They don't give a shit. But Britain is a one of the kind of the world champion that actually care the people that follow. So send your questions, send your comment, and guys, on that note, peace out. We'll speak to you soon.